Critical race theory is everywhere, and everyone is talking about it. It's all over the news.
Critical race theory and how to teach our
race theory is
prove that critical race theory is
Politicians are constantly talking about it.
Senator Ted Cruz, who attended law school with the judge 1 year apart, spent a lot of his time asking her about critical race theory.
Asking questions, how should the Department of Defense think about critical race theory?
And bills are being introduced all over the country to prevent it from being taught in schools.
District leaders planning a final vote to ban the teaching of critical race theory.
Lawmakers want to ban what is known as critical race theory from being
today,
taught.
Governor DeSantis backing a Board of Education decision to ban critical race theory in Florida classrooms.
Race theory has been a debate for months in local school board meetings, and today a bill to block it officially on the books for lawmakers.
Let's back up for a second. When did the controversy we see today begin? Wednesday, August 14, 2019, the New York Times released the 1619 Project. Released to celebrate the 400th anniversary of enslaved Africans coming to Virginia, it's a collection of stories and essays that seeks to reframe American history to include the efforts of Black people. But what really is critical race theory? At its core, critical race theory is an idea in academic and legal groups that race is a social construct. Racism isn't due to individual biases or prejudice, but is the intended outcome of discriminatory laws and institutions. Social issues that we see today, such as racial inequality, police brutality, and the school-to-prison pipeline, aren't anomalies, but they are the intended outcomes of this racist system. The term critical race theory was first coined by Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989, and if her name sounds familiar, she also coined the term intersectionality in the same year. Although she first coined the term, the ideas of CRT really began with the work of Derek Bell, who was one of her professors at Harvard when she did her graduate degree, and he was an NAACP legal defense attorney. Conservatives argue that critical race theory attempts to rewrite American history and guilt-trip white people into believing that they're all racist and a part of the problem Black people face. However, this argument misses an important point about critical race theory. It says that all people are racist, so white or non-white, we all participate in this racism. And how do we do so? Through laws and institutions. Which is what critical race theorists want us to examine. Not the people, but the institutions and laws. A bit of a history lesson. Fearmongering around racial equity isn't new. In the 1950s and 60s, opponents of the Civil Rights Act called the bill communist. In 1964, conservative politician George Wallace called the Civil Rights Act a fraud, a hoax, and a sham.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
So, the next time you hear critical race theory being fearmongered in the news, and a bill being introduced to prevent critical race theory from being taught, remember, this may just be history repeating itself.